Gonna start the recording, Dan, right now.
Hail and well met, my fellow Hearthstone players, and welcome to a live HearthCoach, the podcast that can help you be legendary. I'm your host, Dan, and this is my co-host, Fred.
Hello, everybody.
He is a player of Legend Rank, and I have convinced him to coach me and record it in podcast form and put it out there so as to hopefully help some more of you make it to Legend also. All right. Here we are on episode 131.
Yep,
131. Excellent. How are we doing tonight, friend?
I'm doing good. How are you? That intro was one of the best yet. It's pretty
All
smooth.
right. Smooth. You
You,
worked into little improv
yeah,
into it. Didn't
you
out blowing it.
you added a little spice and still didn't stumble it. I mean, that's good.
Yeah. Um, yeah. Here we are live. Always a little bit nervous when I'm staring at my camera here, knowing that there's who knows they're staring back at me.
The
So
world is looking. Are you
I
still
know.
like in the afterglow of DreamHack, or has it worn
Oh
off?
man, it all happened so fast. It's hard to believe that it came and happened after the big buildup, and we finally got to like meet in person. And oh yeah, it was a real tremendous time.
It's crazy.
And I guess we got our interviews are posted.
Oh yeah.
That yeah, well, I don't know. I thought I might be speaking out of turn. This should be pre-show talk. So
Yeah.
never mind. Hang on.
Yep. It's
We'll talk
good.
about that after the show. Um. So
How
here we
was
are
your
with our.
How's your
Go.
week been so far, Dan? I mean,
I finished up because without like a whole ton of time to play, I did at least finally made it to at least 11.
I saw that you made some progress. I know it was a
Yeah.
very rough month, but
Well, yeah. Was it Monday night on the last night? I got on a bit of a roll and took it from 15 to 11. I was shooting for 10, but then it started the downward spiral and I lost like three or four. It's like, okay, well, that was still not a bad night, and was getting pretty tired by that point, so we just put it away. And I've been up. Let me see, still playing the what druid is that? The
aggro?
aggro druid.
Yeah. Okay.
I've done a little climbing this afternoon. Started at 19. I think I'm up to 18.
All right.
There's a bit of a kind of a 50-50 going on there for a while, but I think I've been on a win streak the last 3 games. So that's where I ended up. That's how it's going now. I'm really liking this druid deck. Probably it fits well with me. What's that card I've been living mana.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's the
my,
comeback.
that is such a comeback card, especially if you're holding a
Mark
where
of
is
the
it? Oh, Mark of
Lotus.
the Lotus.
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the
So
combo. If you can pull it off, it gets you back in after they've dealt with all this crap. Then you have a refill. It's pretty good.
had some pretty fun
Okay.
vicious fledgling plays. Wow, say that 3 times fast.
Yeah. Okay.
Uh,
Well,
that's how my Hearthstone's going.
I can briefly go through it so we can get quickly to our
Hmm.
guest. You know me, I sometimes procrastinate until the last second to do the legend thing. I know so many trips to legend, and then they're all different. This one was at 11 p.m. last night. I finally broke through, and I use aggro druid as
Right.
well, just to kind of push through that final game. So I came in ranked 2200 legend. So at
Hey,
least
legend. You're about legend.
yeah, that's right. That's the whole point. And yeah, I used a whole bunch of stuff, but at the end I just said, we need some efficiency. Let's go with the aggro druid. Seems to get the job done, and it did. So it was a pretty cool game. Somebody was watching. Can't remember who it was on in game, and it was against a shaman. So it was an interesting game, to say the least. But it's done, and now we start again. Ranked 15, whatever.
Awesome.
I'm playing.
And I
Ty's posted a secret hunter. He played this morning. It's kind of
okay.
fun. I've been on a bit of a win streak the few games I played. So anyway, maybe something we could try soon.
And
But enough
I'm
about
15 win.
us. You
Oh, yeah,
know.
I just went 15 wins away from my golden druid,
Okay.
so that'll
Nice.
happen soon.
So
Yeah.
this should help.
Enough about me.
Yeah. Enough about us. Our guest has been really patient while we go
Yes.
through our usual beginning of the week.
Trying
But
to do a brief pre-show opening.
yeah, but we are so happy to have here, fresh off the heels of the big win here in Atlanta DreamHack, Dr. Jikininki. How are you, man?
I'm doing well. Thank y'all for having me on the show. It's a great experience. So yeah, I'm doing pretty well. It's been a kind of a struggle to get back home after Atlanta, but it's been a
Oh.
while since then, so we're good now.
Good, good.
I know we
Well, I'm
talked
glad
right,
glad you got home.
yeah, we talked right away, and you were like, "Yeah, I'm doing all this stuff." I said, "Okay, we'll give you like a week, and then we'll see if I can get you on." So appreciate you coming with us today. Um, so for people that may not know, you were winter champion, right, for Americas? Is that
Yeah,
right?
I won the America's Winter Champion in February, and then competed in the Global Season Champion in the Bahamas.
That's right.
So I guess you got like plenty of points now, I guess, to go to the championships, right? And I think I heard you counting them up on another five. I forget which one it was. Um, adding up the points from the dream hack and everything.
So yeah, the most recent points, I believe my point total is at 34, which will put me at second seed, I think. I'll either be second or first.
Nice.
I think PNC is first seed. So I'll end up being second seed going into the summer playoffs.
Oh, nice.
That's nice.
That's strong. I mean, I know DreamHack helped quite a bit, right? You get what is it, 15?
Yeah, I got 15 points from DreamHack. I was at 18, and those points just put me over the top. So I was already going to be qualified. It was
Excellent.
just that points put me really high in the finishes.
Does that gain you a buy or something like that when you?
So the top 8 players will play against the Tavern Hero entrants. So people who enter through the Tavern Hero tournament, the top 8 players will play against them. First place sometimes gets a bye, I think, but I'm not quite sure. So I was kind of aiming for first, but kind of wasn't. I was just I didn't want to play on the last day of season because it's so stressful. And I see all my friends playing and they're just stressing out. So I didn't really want to worry about myself, especially when I didn't need to.
Yeah, no doubt. Why
Yeah,
stress
I mean,
yourself out if you don't need to?
yeah, just kind of relax a little bit and not deal with uh, the stress of that. Actually, that is an interesting topic. Like, what do you, I hear so much about people grinding 20 hours that day or from the day before and all this stuff to get that top 10 or top 50 or even top 100. I mean, what do you think of that system?
Uh, I'm not a huge fan of the way the system works just because it really stresses that a lot of the time gets put into 1 or 2 last days because for instance like my friend needed to finish I think like top 10 and he made it to rank like 5 the day before the last day and then he fell out and he had a queue and then because he lost like that one game it put him like out and then he had to keep queuing and it was like a mess towards the end of the season. So it's really stressful for the players because they're really worried about that last day. Like sometimes they feel like everything boils down to the last day, even though it really doesn't because you have 3 months to get all the points. So it's not really. I wouldn't say it boils down to the last day, but sometimes you can make it. It feels like that way, and it's just ladder is really stressful to grind.
So
And that's my own personal opinion.
how
Yeah,
do you
I'm with you.
how do you normally approach when you're trying for a top 10, let's call it, or something like that, finish? Like, what's your strategy?
Typically, the way you approach it is you get yourself in a good situation a day before the season ends or 2 days before the season end. For instance, when I finished, I think it was most of the times I've ever finished top 50. 2 of the times I had to play on the last day, and I got a win streak, and I got into it, and then I just sat there and waited it out. My last finish was actually 51st, and it's because I played and I got to I think rank like 11, 10, maybe even 9. I can't remember. And I sat on that rank the day before, and I just sat on it the entire time and just let it ride out. And then I fell all the way to 49 with an hour left. And instead of playing, I
Ooh.
just said, you know what? If I finish, I might finish top 50, so I'm just gonna hold it. So it's mostly about just getting yourself in a good position the last couple of days, so you can play minimal games, and then just getting that win to put you in a good spot and just camping it out.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I mean, it's the thing that I don't know how you fix it, but there doesn't seem to be rewards for getting there quickly or getting there first, right? Like if you make legend in the first week, there's no difference that if you make it in the second week, other than where you land. But then if you start winning, then you can do the same. So there's no reward for speed, right? I mean,
Um, like sometimes you kind of get rewarded. For instance, let's say I were to go play ladder right now, and I just wanted to grind, just keep grinding, and I just keep playing ladder, and I get there within the first like 5 days, first 6 days. And then I place in a rank 3 or 4. Well, what I could do is place in a rank 3 or 4, just not play for the rest of the month, and then I might fall to like 100 some. And then when I fall to 100 some, then I can play again and
okay,
just get back. So it does reward you for putting you in really early, and it can reward you for your rank will be high, so you don't have to play as much. So for instance, if I go into Legend at the first week, I'll be like top 30. If I go into Legend the last week, I'm like 800, 700. So you still have to keep playing. So it like all balances out in the end. So it actually is better to get there early, but it's not something you have to do. It's not like it's game
what?
defining if you get
Yeah,
there early or not.
I got you. Okay, no, that's good to know. So that's interesting. Or if you get there in the last couple of hours, like me, you're in 2200, so there's no chance for you to climb all that if you want a top finish. Very good. We kind of got into the details without kind of introducing our listeners who may not know you, if they should, because you DreamHack and Winter Championship and you're going again. But maybe you tell us a little bit about your background. How did you get? Is this your first like competitive game and card game?
So I started off with competitive TCGs and Yu-Gi-Oh! I played Yu-Gi-Oh! When I was 12, 13. I played it up until I was about 17, 16 years old or 18 years old. And then I kind of took a break from it and was like, you know what, I can't keep playing this. I want to play something else. And I looked at Hearthstone and I said, oh, Hearthstone's pretty interesting. I've been enjoyed playing it. So it's just something about card games in general, tabletop games that I really truly enjoy. So I started playing Hearthstone around 19, 18. I think I played it before then, but it wasn't competitively. So I started playing it competitively, started entering tournaments, started trying to do well on ladder. The first playoffs I ever qualified for was Winter, so I did really well at that one, like winning Winter. And then that's the only playoffs I've played in. I missed the spring playoffs just because of a miscommunication, and it was partly my fault. And then I'm going back in summer, so hopefully we can do well again. Hearthstone's just been a really enjoy for me to play. I haven't really gotten burnt out of it yet. I know a lot of players are getting burnt out if they've been playing it for a while, but no, I've just been enjoying the game.
Excellent.
It's like the first ever competitive esport I've been playing in. I used to play first-person shooters, but I never really did those competitively.
Okay, so you is this your first Blizzard game?
Um, yeah, it's my first Blizzard game. Not the first one I've ever like. Yeah, I would say the first one I ever played seriously. My cousins played World of Warcraft, and they tried to introduce me to it, but I never really was a big fan of the MMORPGs. So yeah, Hearthstone's basically the first Blizzard game, and then I played Overwatch when it came out.
I got you. I played Warcraft 3, so when Ben Brode is rapping about the story of Arthas, I'm like, I remember playing through all that stuff back in the days on my PC. Do you play
I
that,
played some
Dan?
WoW. I played just regular World of Warcraft.
Oh, you never played
The
Warcraft
MMO.
3? Like this is single player, you're
Ooh.
out
Oh,
there.
job's done.
Yeah, like a story mode kind of thing. Anyway,
I might have. It sounds vaguely familiar, but yeah, not really.
starting to
If I
date myself here because that was hot back when I was playing games before. Okay, cool. So the card game thing is what is most interesting to you. You never played Magic: The Gathering by chance?
I played Magic the Gathering casually. I enjoyed the draft format for it. I enjoyed doing that stuff for it, but I never really played it competitively. Yu-Gi-Oh was the only game I really played competitively for a card game.
Okay. Something I was watching the other day, you know, E League. I'm not sure if you're familiar with this. It's a TBS league that they're getting into esports. They put a lot of money into it. So they show on Friday nights a TV show about it, and they were talking about Dota and the international, all this stuff. And some of the some of the families they showed, you know, talking about how these guys that play video games and they think, hey, this is a pipe dream, and um, you're never gonna make it onto this. Like, does your family, did they support you in doing this, or they're a little bit skeptical, like naturally, because it's so
Um,
unique?
I would say a little bit skeptical. I mean, they're really supportive, obviously, but it's still kind of that worry about where it's going to lead. But no, I'd say it's pretty good.
That's good. That's good because
Watch
I
your
had
back.
there was somebody that had a big, he won some trip to go to a land, and he was having a struggle because the family didn't want him to go and all this stuff. But obviously, I mean, you're going to events and stuff, so that's great. And I mean, at least showing that you can actually be successful in it is it should help the case. Um, when it comes to the game of Hearthstone, how did you build up your like collection? Did you grind arenas? Did you just say, you know what, I'm gonna dump $300 here and that's what I'm gonna do, or how did you build that collection?
Uh, a lot of money. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay, so you
Um, no, trust me. I mean, I've gotten back what I've put into the game, obviously, but still, I like when I first wanted to play competitively, I was like, you know what, I need these cards. I can't just not have these cards. So I put the money in to get the cards, and ever since then, I haven't had an issue. I might spend like a decent amount on the set first releases just to make sure I have all the cards. But other than that, my only issue is trying to get golden cards. I'm a big golden person, so I try and make sure all my decks are as gold as possible.
that can cost a pretty penny. That's right. But hey, it looks
Hey, why not?
it,
It's at this point it could be a business write-off.
yeah, it looks good. You get that golden coin. I've never had it, so hey, that's also cool. Um, okay. When it comes to like early in the game, what was your first deck that you put together and played a lot? And also two more things: his favorite class and favorite card.
Oh, you
Those
put
can
me on
be
the
tough.
spot with this one. When I first started playing, when I played casually, I played like a Beast Hunter deck just because I didn't have much of the cards. So I'd play like the Starving Buzzard, the Unleash. Then when I started playing competitively, the first like couple decks I put together were Face Hunter, Mech Mage, just stuff like that. That's what I can remember. That was a while ago, but I wasn't too competitive at the time. I just wanted competitive decks. The first time I ever remember playing like really competitively, I basically had access to everything, so I kind of just played what was good at the time. Um, and then favorite class is either it's a tough one. Either Hunter or Druid. I've always liked Hunter because this Hunter was the first class I ever played. I like Druid because I like the ability to do big things. Like Druid just has the ability to just do things that typically the game shouldn't. Rogue is I also like Rogue for that reason.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have the ability just to do things that you probably shouldn't be able to do. And then favorite card, it's really hard to say. There's a bunch of cards. I like Death Rattle minions, and I like minions that are 6 mana. So I like Savannah Highmane. It's my favorite hunter card. I like Aya Blackpaw. I like Shadowcast, I believe it's called, the rogue card, the
Mm-hmm.
5 mana 4/4, because that's also a really unique card. Shares and Corpse Flower is pretty cool. There's a bunch of cards I
Nice.
would say are cool, but I don't really have like a favorite.
Yeah, Savannah Hyman is
I
a
hear you.
safe pick. That thing is ridiculous. So, to say the
Great
least.
card.
You must be on a bit of a sad spot then, because Hunter is not seeing any competitive play.
I'm kind of fine with it. Hunter had its time in the spotlight. It probably needs to be away for a bit. I don't know. I've seen some new cards, and I'm not sure if Hunter's gonna come back, but it's definitely gonna be interesting.
Yeah, that's, I think Ties was alluding to, they may get better with the expansion, some kind of secret, I guess because of that legendary, but we'll see. Um, very cool.
Yeah. Any thoughts on the new expansion from what you've seen coming out, or you're still kind of a wait and see and got to see what the rest of the stuff is?
I'm
It's kind
mostly
of hard
wait
to
and
have an
see.
opinion.
Yeah, it's really
Yeah.
hard to have an opinion. I'm mostly wait and see, but I'm half really enthusiastic and then half kind of disappointed. I'm really enthusiastic for like some of the cards that just feel fresh, feel different. Like even the new priest card, the 7 mana 4/6, like it feels different, it feels fresh. The Dead Man's Hand, it feels fresh, it's something new. But then there's also like they just announced a new 5 mana priest card, and it's literally Thought Steal, but you get an extra card.
Mm-hmm.
Or they announced like what's another one? Oh, the shaman class card, where it's literally evolve, but you made it 5 mana and it evolves for 2 more. Like I'm half excited because the cards look amazing, but then I'm also disappointed. It's like, why can't, like, do we need like copies of cards we already have? I don't know.
And Mysterious
Same thing, just
Challenger
a little better
Mysterious Challenger on a
or worse.
spell for 2 more mana
I
in
mean,
mage.
even that's not as bad. Like that's at least I'm fine with that because it's a different class. It's a different way to go about it. But for instance, like Shaman already has Evolve. It's not like you're putting Evolve into a new class, and then Priest already has Thought Steal,
Yeah.
so you're just making a 5 mana Thought Steal.
I see. So you think it's a bit unoriginal? I guess would be the word.
A bit unoriginal, a bit like I don't know if it's lazy or not, but I mean the Shaman one's not lazy, but the Priest one definitely seems a bit lazy, but it's hard to say. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
to
just
see
like
what
one
the
card.
rest of them look like, because they can't all be like great cards.
Oh
So,
yeah, exactly. Some of them have to be filler.
yeah, so maybe some of the fillers, a little bit of recycling. That's what we can hope.
Yeah. So, a couple more things before we move on. Some of our listeners are starting to get a bit more competitive, playing opens and playing leagues and that kind of stuff. What would you recommend to them so they can improve? Like what's a good, like, is it practice groups? Is it laddering? Like, what do you suggest?
If you want to improve your individual play, there's a couple of different things you can do. One way to improve individual play is to play like just constantly be running sets, and when you run sets or when you run games against someone, maybe have someone else there with you so you can talk through each and every play, even if it's something as simple as playing Nizal's First Mate on one. It's like, well, do I swing with my weapon? Do I hold my weapon? Do I need it in this matchup? If I'm pull patches, obviously I'm going face, but do I need the Nizal's First Mate? Is it better to maybe play Nizal's First Mate on two if I don't have another follow up? It's little things like this that add up. After every game, tell yourself it was your fault you lost. That's really important. That really helped me improve a lot, because if you tell yourself you lost and you come back into the game and you say it's my reason I lost, it's my fault, then it really makes you see things you might not have seen. Like, for instance, like maybe I shouldn't have played that card on that turn. I didn't need to. Maybe I could have afforded to take this damage this turn. Maybe I could have held onto this card. It's if you accept the reason you lose is your own fault, it can only help you. Even if something like Yogg Saron comes down, there's so many cases where people just want to blame luck. They want to blame RNG. They want to blame whatever they can just because they can complain. Whereas if they just say, you know what, it was my fault, I lost, they can improve more by doing that. And that's my own personal opinion. And then also recording your games. Like, record your game and then go back and look at it, because it's easier to go back and look at it when you're not in the moment playing than it is when you're in the moment playing.
What do you use to record your games?
Um,
Do you just write stuff down, or do you have?
Typically, if my games are recorded, I don't record all my games, which is kind of bad. But I'll look back at the games I've played on stream. I'll look back on Twitch sometimes. If someone like mentions a game, I might look back up. There's a bunch of different ways you can do it. Maybe you can use OBS just to record it. You don't even have to put it to Twitch. I think there's also some computers that have like the shadow replay system. There's also like Hearthstone replays, where if you're using like a deck tracker, you can go back and look at it. So there's plenty of ways to do it, to go back and look at it, I'm pretty sure.
I have a
Oh yeah.
I have a couple of comments about what you were saying about it being your own fault. I talked to Purple before, and he has that same perspective, which is pretty interesting. Where he, no matter what happens, like you said, yog, whatever it is, it's always like I must have done something wrong. Do not blame card order or he got lucky or whatever, and that way you can try to spot how you can do better next time. And
I like that.
the other thing about replays, I have a great example of that. Battle and Brew, we had a Tavern Hero qualifier. I made it to semis, and there was a game. I was Shaman against Taunt Warrior, and I pulled it out somehow. It was a close game, and I was like, I played that perfectly, right? And they actually streamed this game, and I watched it later, and it was like, oh my god, misplay there, misplay over there. Like there was a bunch of things that I did that weren't right, but because I won, it felt good. And then if I lost, I may have said, oh, he got lucky because the 50-50 rack shot, but there were other things that I did wrong, and you don't even know because you're just too focused in the moment. But when you watch it again, it's like, oh my god, look at that. Especially if
Yeah.
somebody is casting and they spot it too. They're like, look, he could have done this and gotten better. So anyway, just putting it out there that I think that that's great advice.
Good. Yes, excellent stuff. Thank you.
And in terms of preparing like lineups and stuff, do you use tracking meta snapshots? You just talk to friends that know the game? You just go by gut? Like what?
Honestly, I feel like you should just use any resource you have access to. So, in my case, I talk to a lot of like other professional friends. I use Vicious Syndicate's replay system. I use Tempo Sort. Like any thing I can get my hand on, I'm gonna be using just to get access to because it's really important to have as much information as possible to make a well-informed decision. I also use like my personal feel. For instance, like somebody might say like, "Oh, this is that favorite." I'm like, "Oh, I don't think it is." Like my own personal stats show me that I'm more favored against this deck than I thought I was, or I'm less favored against this deck than I thought I was. It also depends on kind of what you're playing against. So it's very important to use all of the information you have access to.
Okay. No, that's good. I mean, I guess it all depends on what works. So you use a combination of that to get there. All right, so I guess we'll give you an opportunity. I mean, are you part of an official team or you're looking for a team? No, you're part of a team, right? Is it Denial? Is that what it's called?
Yes, I'm currently on Denial Esports. That's my organization.
Okay. So anything else you want to plug? I know you're streaming, your Twitter, all that good stuff.
You can follow me twitter.com/ Dr Jikininki. I think it's actually spelled wrong on the stream. There's no N in
Oh,
between JIK, but it's fine. I just noticed it when I was looking now.
I can
It's
fix
just
it.
JIKININKI, so it's just that one N. But you can follow me there, twitch.tv/ Dr Jikininki. It's anything Dr Jikininki. You can probably find me there. Even maybe MySpace. Maybe there's a MySpace for me. I
Yeah.
don't know.
We're
Nice.
speaking of which, I fixed it. Thanks for that. I had it right before, but did you where did that come from? Is that just something you made up or
Um, it's a long story. To basically sum it up is the Jikininki part came from the fact that my father and I used to play a first person shooter called Crossfire back in the day, and this is about 8 years ago, 6 years ago, and what we did is we were looking up mythological creatures, and we were scrolling through, reading them, looking at them, and I was looking through the J section because Jace is my name, so I wanted something with a J, and when I was looking through. I ended up finding that Jikininki, and so I wanted to use that, and it was like in Japanese Buddhism, it's a corpse eating ghost, so it was pretty cool. It's really weird, but it's pretty cool, and the name
I
just
like
sounded
it.
cool.
Yeah.
corpse eating ghost? Okay.
Yeah.
And the doctor just it's not a doctor, right? It's just a Jikininki.
um, the doctor was when I was younger. I aspired to be a doctor, so that's why I just kind of slapped the tag on there.
Okay.
It works.
Hey, you never know. Could always happen. Still depends. All right. Anything else you
I
want to
well,
mention or chat?
I want to mention real quick that I'll be on Hero Power tomorrow. I wanted to mention that a little bit early in the show instead of at the end. So throw that out there real quick. They asked me to come on and fill in for somebody. So
Very
yeah,
nice.
I'll be on that live tomorrow.
Okay, so give him a follow now correctly on
Yes.
Twitter, and then on the stream, and I'm sure you'll be seeing him if you watch any of the competitive, because he is having a really good year up to this point. All right, so with that, we can now move on to the deck you're going to take us through tonight, which is actually the one that helped you win DreamHack. And it is, I'm glad that you're here, because this is not something I'm not good at this deck, so it's better to get somebody that knows it better to actually walk Dan through it and explain it properly versus me making all the mistakes that I would. And if you're looking at the stream, even I don't even have Yaw because I disenchanted him. And anyway, I haven't. It gives me nightmares.
I say I'm a more of a completionist. I'll keep everything. I only disenchant extras.
But perhaps you take us through. If you could do a readout of the cards for our audio listeners, and then explain a little bit of why it's included. Some things are evident, like innerbait, but other things maybe more.
Okay, so I'm gonna break it down by the core and then the tech cards, because the core there's not much to explain through it, but the tech cards there are some explanations. So what I would say the core of this deck is double innervate, double Jade Idol, double Wild Growth, double Wrath, double Feral Rage, double Jade Blossom, Fandral, double Jade Spirit, double Swipe, double Nourish, Aya Blackpaw, one Auctioneer, double Jade Behemoth, and one Primordial Drake. So to go through these cards individually real quick, Innervate is just a broken card. It lets you do things you shouldn't do in the game. Right. Jade Idol is a win condition against control decks. It also just increases your Jade count. You can tempo out 4/4s and 5/5s for just 1 mana. Wild Growth is another staple Druid card. Just lets you play on 2. That way you can play something on 4 like a Jade Spirit. It also just lets you cheat out your curve so you can get to your bigger stuff earlier. Wrath is just removal because you don't have much removal in this deck. You just have the Wrath and the Swipe and the Feral Rage, and you kind of need it for the early game since you're not doing anything in early game. Feral Rage is for life gain against burn matchups or aggro matchups, and also is just a good removal tool. Or you also can push damage with it, so it's really flexible, and I like that about the card.
Mm-hmm.
Jade Blossoms, it's a Wild Growth and a Jade Idol put into a card, so I don't think there's much to explain there. You just kind of ramp up, get your Jade, not only ramping your mana, but ramping your Jades. Mm-hmm. Fandral is just one of the most broken Druid cards, probably, especially with Nourish, because it just lets you do things you probably shouldn't be allowed to do. It's also just a good body sometimes against aggro. Jade Spirits, they're just there to ramp your Jade count up, because 4 mana, summon a big Jade is really important. Swipe is one of your few mass removal tools, so you definitely want that in there. Nourishes are just really good against any control deck, or they can help you ramp up if you feel like you don't have something to do. So if you have like a Primordial Drake, you could just ramp with a Nourish and then Primordial Drake next turn. Or if you're playing against a control deck, you just draw 3 cards and they can't really do anything about it. And then Aya Blackpaw and Jade Behemoths are just solid 6 drops for the Jade counter. Jade Behemoth's also really good against aggro, but you typically just want to play every card that says Jade on it. Just kind of the point of the deck. And then Auctioneer, you need at least 1, just because I think 2 might even be a staple. And even the Earthen Scales are staples, which I'll get back to. And Auctioneer is just kind of a good card that lets you cycle, lets you go infinite with your Jade Idols. Sometimes it's good to just use it with Innervates. There's so many cheap spells in this deck that it just makes sense, especially with Wild Growth. And then 1 Primordial Drake at least. And the reason I say that is because it's just Primordial Drake is just a bonkers card, and it's just really good. And dropping it against certain decks is just game winning. Mm-hmm. And so this back to Earthen Scales. Earthen Scales I would also consider at least one of to be a core card, just because that card is really good in specific matchups. It means you always beat Mage. It means you have survivability against aggro. You just have 1 mana, gain so-and-so armor. It's also just a cheap spell for Auctioneer against other matchups. And this takes us to our tech cards. And the tech cards are 1 Primordial Drake, Yogg-Saron, Gluttonous Ooze. And there's basically 3 or 4 tech slots in this deck. And right now I would say it's 3 tech slots, and that's the 1 Drake, Yogg, and the Gluttonous Ooze. Gluttonous Ooze because typically on ladder and in most matchups, weapons is just really prevalent. So if you don't have Gluttonous Ooze, you could do like Acidic or Harrison Jones. But I typically like Gluttonous Ooze because it also gives you that armor gain. The second Primordial Drake I liked just because Shaman was really prevalent. So if you ever get this off against Shaman, it's extremely good. This Primordial Drake is just like the totem killer. You just play it, kill all their totems, clear up their board. They can't really get through it easy. They don't want to devolve it because it comes a 7-drop. And then Yogg Saron was for just most matchups because it's just so good on 10 if you play it and you're in a losing position because like you've already lost the game, you might as well take that chance at winning the game. And I think it's typically better than Deathwing just because it can do more things than Deathwing can, especially if you're in a losing position against like a Taunt Warrior for whatever reason. Probably shouldn't be in a losing situation against Taunt Warrior most of the times. But if you are, Yogg can heal you, it can play a board, it can draw you cards, whereas Deathwing can't. And I think that's basically everything about the deck.
So
Sounds good.
in those tech spots, what are other choices? Is like Thalnos something you would ever consider because of the swipe, or is that kind of junk? I've seen that before, but I don't know.
The tech cards are really interesting. So I've seen some people, you can, if you're not worried about weapon removal, you can cut the ooze for like a Pyromancer or an Acolyte if you're really worried about like heavy aggro, like aggro druid. The second Primordial Drake could be like a Tar Creeper if you want the early game taunt. I've also seen people play Druid of the Claw. And then you could replace Yogg Saron with like Deathwing or the second Primordial Drake. It's like, it's really weird because you have 4 open slots in this deck and there's so many cards you can fit into them. You just kind of pick the combination of what you feel's right.
Thought I saw somebody playing also mind control tech, but I don't know if that.
Oh yeah, there was. I think on the last day there was mind control tech because of Shaman. It's really good against Shaman.
It's like it's this arena. It's like I haven't seen this in a while, but okay. Right. So in terms of is the mulligan that much different between aggro versus control? If you suspect, or you're basically looking for ramp. I mean, how do you mulligan this?
The mulligan is pretty different against a lot of matchups. Against any aggro matchup, you're looking for removal, ramp. If it's warrior, maybe you're looking for the Gluttonous Ooze. If you're playing against a heavy control deck, cards like Nourish are really good. Aya Blackpaw is really good. That's a keep. It just all depends on what you're playing against. The safest keeps are just like Innervate, Wild Growth, Jade Blossom, and Jade Spirit typically. Jade Spirit's kind of on the heavier end, but Innervate, Wild Growth, Jade Blossom are just typically really good keeps. Sometimes Jade Idol. It's really hard to say. It differs from matchup to matchup because if I know my opponent's playing Control Warrior and my hand is Nourish, Aya, and even like Jade Behemoth, I might consider keeping most of them, like keeping the Aya Blackpaw and the Nourish, because if it's Taunt Warrior, then I know this is gonna be a slow game. I don't need to ramp on 2. And a lot of times, like I've played matchups where I'm playing against the Taunt Warrior and I just don't even Wild Growth on 2, and it seems really foreign. Like the concept seems really weird, but the reason being is the way you lose the Taunt Warrior is if you run out of cards and things to do, and if they just ramp up to their quest. So if you're Wild Growthing on 2 and you don't have follow-up, then sometimes it could just like be really bad for you because you'd rather have it as a card to draw with Gadget Sand.
Yeah, it's very nice. I see. This is the kind of thing that I wouldn't even consider. I would just Wild Growth. All right, that's what you do. Just jam it in there. So, all right. Well, we can get into a few games here.
Rock and roll this thing.
And what Dan's gonna be running it, so if you can spec him, and
I'm
that
hitting
way
the big button. I'm on the right deck. I'm only 9 wins away from my golden druid.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
I'm
today.
You may get it tonight. Depends.
It's
Get a couple here, and then
early enough.
You could do it on your own. Yeah. Let's see here. Have you? Okay. Let me spec here. All right. Here we go.
We got a shaman. I'm going first. Okay, so against the Shaman, we got the Nourish, Eye of Black Paw, and the Wrath. So
How's
is
this matchup
probably
generally speaking?
This matchup is typically bad for the Druid player just because the Bloodlust Shaman kind of puts a board state up that you can't really deal with. So it's typically really hard to answer everything.
Okay.
So do we guess dump Aya and Nourish and go with Wrath?
I like that. Keeping Wrath is typically good. It answers Mana Tide, answers Flame Tongue, answers Primal Fin. So it's typically pretty good to keep. We're on play, so we don't have to worry too much.
Okay, and then we get Feral
Nope.
Rage and Yogg Saron showing up way too early for the party.
Hey, that could be good.
Okay, we draw Gluttonous Ooze, and so I got Gluttonous Ooze, Wrath, Yogg Saron, and a Feral Rage in my hand, and that's it.
All right, it's turn 1 for our friend the Shaman. He has 6 cards. Of course, the coin is in his hand. Let's take a look what he's gonna do. He just passes.
Passes. We draw Swipe. Well, this is pretty easy. There's not much else to do except Hero Power, and hit him in the face one time. And I got a Swipe, Gluttonous Ooze, Wrath, Yogg Saron, and a Feral Rage in my hand.
Not good at the deck, Dan. You don't draw Wild Growth.
Man, I'm losing at the draw game.
All right, it's turn 2. 7 cards. Of course, the coin is still in there. 29 health because you punch him in the face.
He's still wondering what kind of druid we are. Are we Jade? Are
Well,
we aggro?
Maybe if you played something, yeah. All right, so he totems and gets Stoneclaw, which is our friend the Ton totem.
And we draw Aya Blackpaw. We got 3 mana. I don't guess there's any reason to Feral Rage and eliminate this thing, is there? Do we? I would be inclined just to Hero Power. I don't. Or should we use Wrath to clean this up?
I kind of like playing the Ooze.
Okay, just.
Because if you play the Ooze, it can test the totem. There's not much to deal with it unless he goes Coin Jade Lightning. And Coin Jade Lightning on a 3/3 is pretty bad. And this Ooze just contests the 0/2. And if he's... typically right now against Shaman, there's not much we would keep this Ooze for unless we want to hit a Jade Claws. But by the time a Jade Claws comes down, we're probably going to be making another play because it'll be so off curve. So we might as well get this 3/3 body on the board now.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
This is one thing that Dan struggles
I'm
with.
getting better at it.
It's playing a battle cry that doesn't hit. Like, it tortures him. That's like, sometimes you just have to do it for tempo. So.
I know. I'm getting better.
All right. So
I didn't wince too much doing it.
Just turn 3 for him. 8 cards. So he hasn't played any cards. 3 mana. And has the Stoneclaw. Okay, he's going to coin the Jade Spirit. So it makes a 1/1 to go along with this. All right.
And we draw Jade Spirit. Oh, decisions. Do we play our Jade Spirit and get rid of the Taunt Totem?
I definitely like that. I would just play the Jade Spirit, get some pressure on the board. There's not too many great ways he answers this. The best way is Maelstrom value trade, but even that's not that great. And you still have a 3/3, so kind of just putting your minions into the board, especially because if we ramp our Jades early, it's just really good for us, and we're not under any pressure. There's no reason to try and remove.
And no positioning considerations here, right? With the Jades against Shaman?
No, it typically doesn't. Your positioning in this matchup typically doesn't matter. I don't think Shaman really has anything that would matter too much about positioning. So sometimes it's good to be in the habit of doing it, though.
Yeah. So he rolled a spell power and played the Maelstrom Portal, and then traded away into the 3/3 with his 1/1, and then our Jade Spirit went down with his Jade Spirit. So that leaves him with a 2/1, a 0/2 spell power, and an Elven Archer that came out of the Maelstrom.
We drew a Primordial Drake. We have no minions we can play. Can't play Aya. I got a Swipe, but seems like a kind of a waste to use Swipe here. Do we Wrath something, draw a card? Wrath the 2/1?
You can Wrath the 2/1, but So we're probably playing Aya Blackpaw next turn, no
Mhm.
matter what we do. So the question is
Right.
whether we really want to wrath off a minion for one, or if this wrath is better as a removal. But our hand is kind of textured weird, so I would like wrathing the 2/1 for one, see what we draw, and then most likely hero powering down the 1/1.
All right, let's see what we get.
All right, we get a Jade Spirit.
Okay.
I do that. We got Jade Spirit, Primordial Drake, Eye of Blackpaw, Swipe, Yogg-Saron, and a Feral Rage in my hand.
All right, so he has the 0/2 left. 5 mana. No ramp for us, so we're not cheating yet. Innervate should be in there at some point. He's still at 29 health. No more coins, so 7 real cards. Let's see what he does.
He's thinking really hard about how he wants to spend his 5 mana.
What are the plays
so-
here for him? Would be like Mana Tide, could be Stonehill. What else? There's nothing that's 5, like a thing from below, but
So, on my next turn, are we looking at either Aya or a Jade Spirit and the Hero Power, maybe?
We're most likely going to play
Depending-
Aya,
Aya.
depending on what he does. Just because putting Aya on the board is just super strong.
he's roping.
He's on the fuse, yeah.
Maybe he is intimidated by
I bet
your.
you we're going to see a flurry of cards come down.
Maybe.
Wait,
Oh,
no, we're
okay.
not. Yep, here they go.
Okay, there's Mana Tide.
Totem,
And on Totem again.
Hero Power.
So. Leaves him
Okay,
with
we're
it.
going with Aya. I get.
I definitely like Aya.
Alright, I drew a Jade Isle. We're going to play Aya.
This is the
we
worst
get the-
can happen to Aya. It gets devolved, maybe, but.
So, and we got Jade Idol, Spirit, Primordial Drake, Swipe, Yogg-Saron, and Feral Rage in my hand.
Okay. So turn 6, 8 cards. Mana Tide, Spell Power, Taunt Totem. He's gonna think about it again.
Yeah,
He doesn't know that we're live. Or maybe he does. He's trying to
I
test
don't know.
to see if we will quit.
I guess. He's thinking really hard. Well, he wants to spend his 6 mana.
So
But
what's his turn 6? It could be his own Aya, because he had Jade Spirit, so this is more like a Jade. May not be the Evolve. Could be, but
Oh, okay, here comes the
Jade
Claw.
Claws. Takes down the 2/2 Jade that we had. And Hex. Okay, so he's
Oh, that's kind of rough.
yeah, so he's running Hex. So that's the other worst
Uh.
thing that could happen to Aya. Worse than
We
the
draw
Evolve.
another Wrath.
Hmm.
Can't play Primordial Drake yet. Is there a reason to swipe? Get rid of that Mana Tide?
What we could do is we could play our Jade Spirit, play our Jade Idol for 1, and we have 2 mana left over, and then we wrath the Mana Tide Totem so that he stops getting the draw. Because we definitely want to kill this Mana Tide Totem as quickly
Alright.
as possible.
Jade, are we going for the cards or the Jade?
You definitely
Or
want
the
the
Golem.
Jade on the board. You definitely
Okay.
want the Golem on the board.
Alright, Golem on just
Yep.
being super. She's a Jade Spirit,
Yes.
Wrath, the. Yeah.
You think he runs Storm? It's
So
very
Mana
possible,
Tide.
right?
It's
Alright,
very
I-
possible he runs Storm and Volcanoes.
Yeah. All right, so he's overloaded for 1. So turn 7, but 6 mana. It's 8 cards. The weapons up. Wrath of Air, Stoneclaw, which is Spell Power and Taunt Totem, and a 2/2 Jade. We're hoping to Primordial this, right? Next turn? That's the idea? I'm thinking.
Primordial does seem pretty strong next turn. It all depends on how this turn pans out.
Second Maelstrom comes out, gets a Possessed Villager. That's a zoo card. Remember, we were playing that the other day.
Yeah.
Okay, looks
I
like
heard a stat there was only 4 of us that brought Warlock to DreamHack.
you're brave. Alright, so
I won a game.
he trades the 2/2 Jade into our 4/2 because of the damage the portal did, and then the weapon goes into our 3/1. The Jade Spirit is still out there as a 2/1. Let's see what the next card is. Stonehill Defender. So he's gonna get something out of that. And end turn. Okay.
We draw another swipe.
Still Drake.
Do we take our minion, run it into the Stonehill Defender, and play Primordial?
I like that. We definitely need to get something on the board. And this is a really imposing minion for Shaman to deal with, but he does play Hex. So
it's used one, so
I can't believe no ramp, no love.
the best part of this situation, though, is we drew all our removals, so our draws for the rest of the game are going to be either Jade cards, draw, or just basically Jade cards and draw are all that's left in our deck.
There's Thing from Below after playing a Wrath of Air totem. That's the spell power again. He's gotten the taunt and spell power only so far.
Even another Thing from Below would be pretty good for us because we can just double swipe and push 4 damage face. Depends on what he does, though, obviously.
And we've increased our... Oh, wow. Okay, so let me recap that. He played the Thing from after the totem. He played the Thing from Below, and then he played a Jade Claws, which brought out a 3/3, and then he played a Dread Corsair, which came out of the Stonehill Defender. So here we are.
So are we swiping?
I kind of like the double swipe.
So
okay, so all right, well, one. So we do that. Now where do I start the second one? On the other taunt? Do the 4 on that?
I like that. Put the swipe on the other taunt.
will you clean up completely? Just clear the board? Or push the damage?
I like cleaning up for the reason that he could Doppelgangster Evolve.
Yeah.
But it all depends on if he's playing that card, because he's running Hex, so...
Yeah. I just like to keep the board clean with Shaman as a general rule. But
I drew a Gadgeton Auctioneer. I got that, Yogg, and Feral Rage, and whatever. Get to the point where I actually can play Yogg. If we need to.
Alright, Jade Chieftain came out from the hand. He had 8 mana because he was overloaded for 1, and that's it. So it brought out a 4/4 taunt.
So I got the Gadgeton Auctioneer. We drew Earthen Scales. So we Gadgeton Earthen Scales on our taunt guy, and
probably Feral Rage for attack. I definitely like that.
Okay. Gadgeton
See, we draw with
Auctioneer.
the Earthen Scales first.
Earthen Scales our taunt minion. We get another Primordial Drake.
So now we Feral Rage for attack.
Feral Rage for attack. Give your hero +4. We draw Innervate.
You can Innervate out the hero power, so let's play Innervate.
Innervate. And we get another Innervate.
Ooh, play the other Innervate.
Oh.
It's really hard to say. This turn's going by fast. Put the Drake into the 4/4.
Yeah.
Put the Drake into the 4/4?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and then you're facing a 5/5.
Yep.
Got the hell back. Okay.
You protect the health of the
in.
minions, if you remember that from...
Drew a Jade Blossom.
Don't
think we need the extra mana, but we'll take the 5/5 for 3.
Yeah, it came a little late. That's fine. Okay.
Now, with the next Jade Idol, we would have to put it in for 3 cards.
We
draw it?
Possibly.
Oh, there's
we
Lightning
might need
Storm.
to in this matchup.
So he did have it. So he cleans up.
We're down to 12 cards.
And there's Aya from him. So he's up to 6/6. No, 5/5s. All right.
Alright, we drew Nourish.
We can Nourish for draw.
Okay.
Look,
Draw
we don't
3.
need to Yogg. We don't need to Yogg yet. Just Drawing 3
No.
seems good. Wait for him to flood the board.
2-3. We get another Nourish.
Wild
We
Growth.
get Wild Growth. Jade Idol.
I like playing Wild Growth and then not drawing.
So just hold on to the excess mana.
Hold on to the excess mana and just play Jade Blossom.
It's a 5/5, so we're parity here. He's gonna go ahead because of Aya or whatever he plays, but
A lot of times you want to hold on to the excess mana because then you could do crazy things with Auctioneer. So for instance, if we draw Auctioneer, we could go Auctioneer, shuffle the Jade Idol that we have in our hand, and then excess mana.
We only got 8 cards left, so won't
Well,
be long.
when you shuffle, you know, you never run out of cards. All right, so
Yeah.
Ooh,
okay, so
it's kind of
Genius
rough.
Spirit Echo. Oh
and
my.
Spirit Echo, so he's gonna trade in the Aya and get another Aya. Whew. We may need some miracles here. JB.
Alright, that's a Jade Behemoth. I get It's either
can probably
Primordial
use
or go with
this.
the Jade Behemoth.
We can probably use this excess mana to draw just to see what we draw real quick. We probably won't need it for Gadget Sand since we drew a Behemoth.
We drew another Jade Behemoth.
I like just playing Behemoth and hero powering. And hero powering the face.
Alright, and we want to wait on the Jade Idol till we get our Auctioneer.
I would wait on the Jade Idol. I would wait.
6
We're
cards.
probably gonna Yogg next turn. It depends on what we draw, of course. It's hard for him to get through this kind of board state, so we might be able to just drop Primordial Drake and Hero Power down the 6/6. But if he plays Aya Blackpaw, then we definitely want to Yogg Saron to try and answer the board.
Yep, it looks like he's really going to think about this turn. Guess I can't say that I blame him at this point.
Yeah, we've seen
But
this. I saw this deck at DreamHack actually. This Echo Shaman. I think I played against it even. Very controlly.
This is quite a long game here. We'll
Yeah.
have to see. Maybe this might be a 2-game night.
Yeah, I think so. We don't want to abuse our guests' time.
No. We usually try and get in 3, but
this is not
pretty
going
long.
fast. Okay, so he traded. Let me recap this. A 5/5 into the 6/6, and then the face to finish it off. And he did the 6/6 into the Behemoth. And here comes Aya number 2 and Spirit Echo again. Second one. All right. Is it time?
And we draw Fandral.
Okay, this is not looking good. I think we need to Yogg Saron and pray.
All right, Yogg.
All right, Yogg, do your thing. Here we go. And Power of the Wild. Mirror Image. Call of the Wild.
That's pretty good.
Power Word Shield.
Puts it on the wrong menu.
Yeah. That gives us
Innervate.
everything skills. Innervate. Sacrificial Pact. Blood
On
Fury
the-
Potion. Coffer. Holy Nova. Another Blood Fury. Potion of Madness. Molten Reflection. Amisha.
Ooh.
Adapt the minions. Shatter.
So, I kind of like Earthen Scales on the Huffer. Earthen Scales the Huffer,
Mm-hmm.
and then
Okay.
hit him in the face. And shuffle the Jade Idol in your deck.
Yeah. Shuffle. He doesn't run Bloodlust, right? And it... Oh, let's see. 10, 21. And he
That
can't...
was an awesome Yogg
He
Saron.
can't interact with our board. Well, volcanoes, devolves, stuff like that, I guess. But I don't know if they're in there.
Everything's stealthed.
The stealth is pretty incredible right now. It depends on Bloodlust if that's
I
lethal.
didn't even. What stealthed everything? Was that an adapt?
It was the adapt card. It was called Evolving Spores.
Evolving Spores from the... it's a shaman card. I ran it on the Egg Druid in Wild at some point. At least one off. Alright, let's see what this is.
I guess he's trying to figure out if he can do.
What is he supposed to do? Oh, there's the
Evolving
He's
devolve.
evolving.
Well,
The mirror images.
Oh, look at
stay.
this. King Mosh? Nice.
He had to devolve so he wasn't dead the next turn.
Huckster?
Huckster's not bad.
Hot Spring Guardian to...
yeah, but our ear mirror images are stealth, right? So they don't really count.
Yeah, they won't come through his taunt. But he has to trade into a lot of things.
King Mosh gets Jade Lightning. He gets an 8-8. He got the Yin back because he wants to heal a little bit. He needs to clean up. Trades into... I mean, there were a bunch of little minions that came out of that devolve. Ooh.
So he's at 9. That's 2. Feral Rage is 4, 5, 6, 7. That's not enough.
Well, we don't have Swipe anymore, so this is the only burst we're looking at, right? I mean, the Feral Rage.
Yes, it is. I like trading the 2/2 into the 2/4 to see what we get.
Maybe we get some kind of lava burst.
We get
Aya
Aya
Blackpaw.
Blackpaw.
Oh my god.
I like playing Aya Blackpaw and Fandral Stackhelm.
Oh, okay. So play Fandral
Just
first.
play both. There you go.
Oh my
And
goodness.
getting Aya Blackpaw was pretty insane. Because he has to clear up most of the board, and he can't really clear up most.
He's gonna Jinyu probably for another 6, so he'll be back to 15. But he does have to clear. Let's see. And these mirror images are proving to be annoying. He doesn't have
Yes.
the portals anymore, so maybe another storm? Doesn't have it. He's starting to trade. Poor listeners won't know what's going on because
No, it's pretty hectic right now.
the evolve.
I know this is one heck of a match. Trying to call all those cards going by on Yogg.
Anyway, he's trading a bunch of stuff into our stuff, killing the 7/7. This is another hex. Yep.
He had
Wow.
his other hex.
And then probably Jinyu, if I had to guess. Maybe. What does he heal? The 8/8 or his face? The 8/8 kind of makes sense. Catches an
We
auctioneer.
draw Gadgets and Auctioneer. If we play the Drake, we only clear a couple of things.
This is gonna seem like a really weird play, but I kind of
Okay.
like nourishing to draw 3 cards.
All right. We
Let's
trust
see
you,
what
man.
we get here. We got a Jade Idol,
Jade
Wild
Idol,
Growth,
Wild Growth,
Jade Blossom.
Blossom. That's not what I was hoping for. The last 2 cards in our deck are Jade Idols. We needed at least one more Jade Idol.
I see.
I would play Wild Growth and draw the last Jade Idol.
Okay.
And then just play 2 Jade Idols for minions. I was hoping we would draw 2 Jade Idols or 3 Jade Idols. That way we could play all 3 of them this turn. But the Jade Blossom kind of interrupted that.
Well, is this lethal anyway? 10, 20, 29, not yet. He just needs to kill stuff. And
He has to keep trading.
And he's trading. Yep. Now he's going to start to do a little bit of damage. Setting us down to 24. Okay. Whoa.
Okay.
Aya Black.
Aya Blackpaw.
It's a 10-10.
10-10.
Well. And Mana
Did
Tide
we-
Totem? Oh my god. Okay.
Alright, this play we really have to think about. How much damage can he do if we play... Well, you have to play Behemoth every time. So you can just play Behemoth now. So we can think about this.
Jade Behemoth goes down.
So
Do we need to do 3 cards into the?
So the way he trades is he put a black paw and the 1/1 into the 3/6. If he does that, he then has 20 damage. It makes Jade Lightning lethal, and he's only played 1 Jade Lightning. I don't think we can risk it though. We really have to have a minion connect face. Actually, no. It just makes 5. Sorry, I'm really thinking about this turn.
No worries.
He needs 2 damage to kill us. I would go Jade Blossom and Jade Idol for a minion.
Oh, really?
Jade Idol for a minion.
Yes.
12/12.
We die to 1 damage. If he has 1 extra damage, we die. But we're going to hope he doesn't have it.
It's the best position.
This
to
is
win.
our only winning line of play.
Yep. Yeah, this is the old play to win instead of to not lose, because then if you do something. Okay, so he's trading 1/1 and Aya.
Trades in the 5/3.
So he may have it, is what we're thinking.
He should have played.
Oh, he's going face.
If he has Jade Lightning, he has it.
Yeah. Oh, we would die to fatigue anyway. No, we're at 2. You're right.
We're at 1 damage fatigue.
I missed.
And all we need is for him to whiff 1 damage,
so no.
and then we win.
It's no claws. The only thing is, it was Flame Tongue, but he doesn't. That's not in here. And the only other thing would be Jade Lightning. There's a ton totem, but it's not enough. Let's see.
We could. No,
Even
we
if
can't
he
Primordial Drake.
hexes something.
Oh, it's a slow roll. He's pointing at the face.
Oh, he's just BMing.
Just a slow roll. Oh man, but like you said, this was a rough matchup, and we got the Jades to 12/12. That was kind of cool.
If we knew it was a different kind of shaman, the mulligan would have made it better. The fact that we didn't know it was Jade Shaman kind of made it worse for us.
You got one more in you?
Of course.
Okay, we'll get one more in here. And
Typically the games don't last that long.
I
Yeah,
mean,
usually.
that was a marathon, but I think there was a lot of good stuff there. Unfortunately, we'll have to post the video because for our audio friends, it's gonna be tough. It's a lot of. You can't tell the evolve and all that stuff that happened, and
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going first again. I got the Behemoth, Fandrel, and Jade Spirit in my hand. We're playing against a priest. Left to my own accord, I would dump this and go for something else. Maybe keep the Jade Spirit.
I like keeping Jade Spirit at most. I would just keep the Spirit and put everything else back.
Okay. And wow, we get a Jade Blossom and a Behemoth. So.
Blossom is.
Oh,
good.
and a Jade Idol. Okay, that's better.
Do you get
We go ahead and throw this first idol out and get that.
You can throw the first idol out.
Get that one.
I like
going?
it.
Okay.
The 1/1 is typically bad against priests, but it's fine because we're gonna blossom on 3 anyways. So he's eventually gonna get value from his Northshire cleric.
Nope, didn't have it.
But he doesn't have it, so.
Ooh,
we draw Innervate.
Would you innervate the Spirit?
So I guess we.
I don't know.
Yeah.
You can Innervate Spirit. Innervate Spirit seems strong. Because you're going to curve out.
Yeah, then you go
anyways.
Blossom. Yep.
The only reason to save Innervate is because you're playing against Priest. It's not typically a matchup where you need to use the Innervate this early. So there's consideration for that.
Okay, so I guess we're playing against Dragon Priest.
Yep. He plays another Spite Historian and gets his card. All right.
We draw Earthen Scales.
So now we just can go Jade Blossom.
Would there be an occasion you would want to Earthen Scales and Hero Power?
No, because Jade Blossom's just so powerful there.
Do we get rid of the minion?
You can trade in the minion. You need to put the 2/2 and the 1/1 in. because it plays around not only Holy Nova, but it also plays around Potion of Madness. If you were to put the 2/3 in and the 1/1 in, you're weak to both other cards.
All right. It's turn 3 for Priest. He's at 27. Curious Glimmer Root. Start to steal our stuff. Could be good.
Interesting. And he guessed right. We draw Fandral. Do we Fandral and put Earthen Scales on him? For next turn?
Just trade hero power? Is that it? No.
I want to Fandral and Earthen Scales him, but that really leaves us with only one card.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Which doesn't
you can
feel good.
Fandral Earthen Scales.
Okay. Because it's a 4.
And then trade the 3/3 in. Because the 4/6, it's
makes them
really
hard
good
to deal
stat
with.
line, and then we're gonna Behemoth next turn always. So unless we draw like Nourish, and also we've already dedicated using the Innervate early. We've already dedicated the game to trying to beat him as quick as possible. So this really helps with that. It also can just take really good value trades in the future.
Yeah. Well, making him a 4/6 makes it
Twilight
harder.
Drake comes
Priest
down
to
as a
deal with.
4/9. Another Blossom.
Draw Jade Blossom, but we're going to go ahead and play
Definitely want to just go Behemoth.
Jade Behemoth.
You can't mess with this. You just go face, right?
Yeah. Everything to the face?
Yes, you just go everything face. Everything face is a little weak to Dragonfire, but not that weak.
Yeah, because these two would stick around. He has the coin still? Is that right?
Mm-hmm. I think so.
There's the coin. So he has it. He's coming down. Oh, no, Bookworm.
That's like coin Bookworm, which is pretty good for us.
All right.
Could be much worse.
All right, so let me...
Oh,
Nourish.
there's the card we wanted to see.
All right, so he Bookworm our Behemoth and then traded the Drake into the 4/4 Jade, but we drew Nourish, which the Fandrel's still on the board. Oh.
We draw Swipe, Primordial Drake, and good old Yogg Saron.
We're at 10 mana and next turn, and we drew 3 cards. Which is pretty good.
We go ahead and Jade
I like
Blossom.
going Jade Blossom.
We will have 10 mana next turn.
What do we do here about this board? Because it's the potion turn.
I like putting the 2/1 and the 4/6 into the 3/6, and then pushing the 2/3 face.
Oh, okay. Okay.
2/1
The 2,
and 2/3.
the 2/1, and the 4/6.
4/6 into the 3/4, and pushing the
2/3
2/3
to the face.
There we go. That's what you meant. It's potion. He went face. Yeah, he has the potion.
Dragon Fire. It's fine.
That's the turn.
We have Wrath. Do we just go ahead and play
I like
Primordial
Drake
Drake?
Wrath. Drake Wrath is extremely
And
powerful.
just wrath it down to get it over with. This is like the priest doesn't have a way to deal with the 4/8 ever that I'm
No,
aware
this is
of.
extremely hard for Priest to deal with.
I've lost so many times to this. It's like, what am I
And we're
supposed to
holding
do?
a swipe.
Yeah. All right. So he plays the operative. Maybe he gets something from us that can help him. Nope. Maybe not yet. Okay. Heals for 2. Goes to 15.
All right.
Wild Growth.
So Wild Growth.
Go ahead
so we
and draw a card.
Wild Growth. Excessive mana. We get another Wild Growth. I guess to cycle
Do it
that
again.
too. One more time, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Another excessive mana, and we get Feral Rage. Is that? Oh, that was almost I win. No.
So I would just
8.
put the Drake face and hero power the face. No reason to try and interact with his board. We're just gonna be on the game plan of let's finish him off.
We got
Gotcha.
8 burst, 9 potential.
9 damage from hand. He can only hero power to 12.
He needs his own. Shenanigans with Lyra are about to happen. Let's see.
He definitely needs something powerful.
Well, he only has 3 mana, so and no those discounters. What's the name? Radiant
Radiant Elemental.
Elemental. So that's a good sign. Let's see what happens here. Hey, he did pick up something that could help him.
Does help him.
A little.
Well, but he can't heal now, and we're 1 off. Alright, so he wrathed the Drake and finished it off with his Binding Heal. Oh no, Power Word Shield on the Lyra.
And that's lethal.
Another Feral Rage.
Oh, there it is. So that's
You just
it.
don't hero power and you're good. You go Feral Rage,
Oh, right,
Feral
right.
Rage, swipe.
I was
Plus
just
4.
making sure I
+4, and 4 more.
took the +4.
We kind of played this like a
4.
face deck a little bit.
Sometimes you have that opportunity if you draw the way we drew. The way we drew is really aggro
Yeah, you
oriented.
just smash face and hope for the best, and it worked.
Okay. Now that one went pretty quick, but we don't want to just tie you up all night, my friend.
I know
So,
you're gonna go streaming.
You've been most gracious enough with your time, and you've passed on some real valuable knowledge. I've learned a lot myself here tonight. So
yeah, we wanna thank you again for coming on the show.
And if you any last shout outs, anything you want to promote, whatever, throw it on out there, friend, and we'll let you go.
No, I think I'm good. Just thank you all very much for having me on the stream. I truly appreciate it. I love giving back to the community that's given so much to me. So thank you all, gentlemen, very much.
Oh, well, glad to have you on, and who knows, maybe we'll do this again sometime.
Yep. All right, so we're gonna close out the show. You can find us, as always, on HearthCoach.net, which is our website. You can email us at hearthcoachpodcast@gmail.com. We are on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, all your social medias at HearthCoach. We are on iTunes, of course, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, wherever you can find podcasts, or even from the website where you can download our show. Again, keep the reviews coming. They are always helpful to keep us up in the rankings. We're over 100 reviews, and we keep our ratings pretty well.
Keeps us competitive with those big time podcasters.
Yeah. And one final time, thanks to Dr. Jikininki for coming on. Follow him on Twitter. We'll put his information on the show, and support him.
Good luck with your Good luck with your future tournaments.
Thank you, sir.
We'll be watching.
We'll be for sure watching and rooting. So, thanks again. Right. I've stopped the recording there. Very good, sir.
You can feel free to bail on us whenever, my friend.
Yep.
We're done with the podcast proper. We're just...
Yeah.
If you want to hang out for a little of the after show, if you want,
I need to go get some dinner. And
understand.
then I'm probably gonna boot up the stream. So,
all right.
Thank y'all, gentlemen, again for having me on your stream. I really appreciate it.
All right, we'll see you later, man.
Y'all have a good night. See ya.
Bye. All right. Well, we're still on.
Still live.
We're still live, but
awesome.
I thought that went well, even though that first game was such a slog. It's like, oh gosh, this is taking a while.
Yeah.
But we got it in. We got it done. It's always fun.
We did.
There's a bunch of people on the...
really? We got a few...
Yeah, we got, some of the ATL crew. Blake Sorocio, Blue Spartan, Forrest Bates,
Some of the Hero Power guys.
Yep.
Zeroshio, I'll talk to you after the show.
Yeah, we had, let's see who else is in here. Oh, my real life friend Ray was in here. So yeah, thanks for stopping by. We always enjoy having you live, but as always, you can find our show on our audio feed on Apple Podcasts. So, oh, here's Jammies. He's got a different name here. Jammies is also, I don't know if you remember him, he was a DreamHack, so.
Okay.
So anyway, I think that'll be it, because we got some...
to bed?
Yeah, we gotta talk about some things. And
Yep. Yes, we do have some after show stuff to talk about, don't we?
Yep. So, thanks everybody for coming online, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.